Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host Jennifer, and today we're going to do something a little bit different and might be scary to some of you. Now with that, we are going to do a tutorial today. We are going to work on this shawl that I said we're not going to make a tutorial for because I'm going to tell you why. I decided to make a shawl for little man's teacher because it's the end of the school year and you guys know that we have experienced some bullying crap in his life. And he had a new teacher step forward and say she would like to have him in her class because she's aware of him. She knows him from 2nd grade. And she has pretty much flipped everything upside down. And he's coming home talking about how much fun he had at school instead of dreading it. So this is going to be the Miss Libby shawl. Because I'm making it for Miss Libby. Alright, I already made one of these. I am working on a second one. And actually we're going to be working on a third one also for the tutorial because I started the second one already, so we got to restart a third one. And because I'm using different yarns, this is where the part gets scary that some of you that need structure is going to have difficulty with, okay? I promise it's going to all work out. You got to just trust the process and trust the artist, okay? This version was made with facets yarn from Michaels. I used 2 balls, okay? I can't find the other balls. I have 2 more balls of facets. I don't know how many yards those are, which is why I say this part's going to get a little bit scary. We're going to use yarn from our stash, okay? I mean, if you want to go get the facets yarn, it's really soft. It's got sparkles to it. This is a beautiful colorway. I don't have the ball band to tell you what color this is. I think it's teals or oceanic or something or another. The one I'm making for Miss Libby, this is 4-weight yarn with probably a 5.5mm hook or a 6mm hook. Don't remember. I am making one in Hobie Dahlia cake. We're just going to go until we run out of the cake. The cake has 874 yards. This is what this one is going to look like. Okay. I'm going to give you the multiples and we're going to go from there. And I want you to pick a yarn out of your stash. Minimum 600 yards. Maximum is as big as you want to make the shawl. I have not finished designing this shawl, so we're going to be designing while we're making the tutorial. So it's going to be even extra pressure on me. But I already have one section halfway done at least. So we're starting it in a big V, and this is good for all body types because the ones that are just flat triangle shawls don't fit bigger or more rounded bodies as well, which is why we're starting it in a V and it will fit all bodies. And the arms here are going to go up to wrap around better. It's going to be beautiful. It's not at all hard. I'm going to give you so many options to make it your own. I'm going to teach you how to do the stitches. We're going to change the bottom because the bottom, I don't remember what I did on the bottom, but whatever we do is going to be beautiful. I promise. So we're going to start with the shawl. Now, this is a 4-weight. This is a 2-weight cotton. So this is where I'm saying pick a yarn and pick a hook that goes with the yarn. So this recommends 3.5 to 4mm crochet hook. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. Could probably even use a 4.5 and be perfectly fine. These are the cotton with the strings. This is really, really splitty. So that's not as fun as this one was to work out. But for the one for the tutorial, we're actually going to switch back and forth. So you're going to see some on the 2-weight and you're going to see some on a 4-weight. I'm going to pick out a 4-weight for this tutorial as well, because like I said, I'm going to make this one for Miss Libby, and then I'm going to make one for the tutorial as well. So I'm going to simultaneously be making 2 shawls. So if I can make 2 shawls at once, you can make just one of them. Pick a yarn from stash. Go pick one of your bougie yarns that will be beautiful. If you have hanks laying around, it's time to use them. Does not matter what you make the shawl out of. It could be a 1-weight. It could be a 4-weight. You could probably even do it a 5-weight. It's just going to be a much larger shawl. depending on what yarn you use. I want you to use your imagination with this. Like I said, I'm going to give you the multiples. I'm going to show you how to do the stitches. And we're going to do a typical Cinnamon Stitches fly by the seat of our pants tutorial. So let's go down to the table. I'm going to pick some yarn to use. I might even use a 3-weight, and just that way we have a 1-weight, a 3-weight, and a 4-weight. And we're going to go from there. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that I grabbed a Caron cotton cake after much deliberation, and I grabbed a 5.5 millimeter hook because this recommends, this is where it's getting janky, guys. It says recommends 5 millimeter. I went up a hook size because my 5 millimeter is not easily accessible. It's all good. We're just going to play by ear. Alright, I'll grab a handy dandy tape measure. Get an idea. I am measuring half of the V, which is about 9 inches, which means this part is 18 inches. I'm going to measure this one. See how accurate I am? Not, oh, I'm so good. I'm so good. I did not count. I just measured it on my neck. Okay. So if you're using whatever hook you're whatever yarn you're using, you're going to want to crochet 18-inch chain in an even number, okay? So with the 2-weight yarn, using a 4 millimeter hook, which your tension could be totally different, it does not matter. This was 100 stitches, okay? So I chained 50, I placed a marker, I chained 50 more. For this one, this is 4-weight, I chained 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 60. Okay, so I chained 30, placed a marker, chained 30 more. You just want this to equal about 18 inches. Okay. See if I can find the center. This is a janky ball. This is Caron Cotton Cakes in the color Grape Jam. I have no idea where I got this yarn from, how long it's been in my stash. I don't remember purchasing it, but I may have. And generally my cakes come from, or my Caron cakes come from Michael's. Alright, this is not rocket science right here. This is just chaining, okay? So because I'm working with a 4-weight, and I'm working with a 5.5 millimeter hook, I know that I can, as a matter of fact, let me get a stitch marker. We'll do peridot, because that's my birthstone. We're going to go, I'm going to start off with, you just need it divisible by 2 equally, okay? I'm going to start off with a chain of 30 with a 5.5 millimeter hook and a 4-weight. Like I said, you can do this with any yarn and any hook. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Let's try that again because I slipped out and I felt like I lost a stitch. That was 20. That's 30. This should be about 9 inches. It didn't look 9 inches at all. Nope. That's 36. Is almost 10 inches, but it'll work, okay? So now I'm going to place a marker. And then I'm just going to stitch 36 more. So whatever that first number is to reach you at about 9 inches, just double it on the other side. .36. Fold it in half. Make sure your lengths are equal. Looks about right to me. This is going to be a fudget shawl if I ever made a fudget shawl, but it's going to be beautiful, I promise. All right. Now, chain 2 more. 1, 2. That counts. Actually, chain 3. Chain 3. That counts as a chain 3 in the, not the last stitch, but like the 35th stitch. Go ahead and put a double crochet. We're going to double crochet all the way across till we get to the stitch marker, and then we're going to put an increase because that's where the peak of the triangle is going to be. And whatever your number is, you should have the same number of double crochets on either side of the increase. So you should, in theory, have 36 double crochets on either side of the increase. But if it's not perfect, it doesn't have to be. Just make sure that it's kind of equal, because you'll see, it'll all work out. As long as your starting row, which is this row, is equal on both sides, on either side of the increase, it will work out. So we're just double crocheting until we reach the stitch marker. I really should have brought my glasses in here. Luckily I have a backup pair. They're not as good as my regular glasses, but they do in a pinch. This is just like our foundation row for the shawl. We're almost there. You can also use scrap balls of yarn for this project, and just make sure when you change the color, you change it at the end of the row. It would totally work. Alright, we got to the stitch marker. I'm going to pop the stitch marker out because it's in my way. And in that stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Now if you have a hard time with stitch recognition, you can go ahead and put that stitch marker back on the chain 2 space, because that is going to be where we increase every single row until it's done. Okay, so that's what it should look like. We have the double crochets up one side. This is where the peak is at. This is our increase. 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And then we're going to repeat on this side whatever we did on that side. So we're going to put double crochets all the way down. After this row, I want you to count and make sure you have the same amount of double crochets on either side of this increase. And it doesn't have to be, like if you thought it should be 36 on each and you have 38 on each, or you have 40 on each side of that increase, as long as the number on both sides are the same, it doesn't matter. So don't worry about the minute details so much. Whenever you're making a shawl for somebody, do you ever wonder if it's going to be the right color? Because I'm making the shawl for Little Man's teacher, and I don't know what her favorite color is because he's only had her for a week and a half as of the recording of this video. No idea what her favorite color is. And I know some people hate certain colors, like I hate the color brown. I don't like it. I don't know why. There's some colors I just don't like. And I'm worried, like I'm going to make her something and she's going to hate pastels. Maybe she's more of a jewel tone person. I just hope that she's someone who recognizes that I really made this for you with a grateful heart, and that's really what matters. We are approaching the end of the row. People next door are having their lawn mowed, and so all I hear is lawnmower going back and forth by my window. It's driving me crazy. And I can't really predict what days he's coming because he just comes whenever he wants to come. Alright. Now, instead of counting these, because I don't feel like counting them, I'm just going to fold it in half and see if it's about equal. Looks pretty equal to me. We're going to go with it. Chain 3 to start. Every row for the entire shawl is going to start the same way. I'm going to lower you guys a little bit. I feel like you're kind of far away from the camera. Come on, lower. There we go. Now we can see every row of every beginning and end of the rows of every row in this shawl. I know that was a lot of information. It's going to start with a chain 3, and you put 2 more double crochets in that same stitch. That is going to be our increase, and every row will start with 3 double crochet or the equivalent, and every row will end with 3 double crochet in the last stitch. Alright, now we are going to skip 1 stitch, and then the stitch next to it we're going to put a V stitch. So we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, that's what it should look like. Now we are going to skip 2 stitches and put a V stitch in the third. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, same stitch. We're going to repeat this until we get to the peak. So skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third put a V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch, skip 2, V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, V stitch, skip 2, and in the third double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, skip 2, in the third V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. This is what it should look like at this point. It should not be pulling or buckling or any of that. And if it's doing that, that means you skipped a stitch or you put too many in or something. Skip 2, and in the third V stitch, skip 2, and then the third V stitch. Got a cute little color change happening. skip 2 and in the 3rd V-stitch, skip 2 in the 3rd V-stitch. And of course, if you're using a thinner yarn, these numbers are going to be different. You're going to have more V-stitches than I do. If you're using a fatter yarn, maybe you'll have less. It does not matter the actual number. It really does not. Alright. Now, we got to the end of the row. You may have 1 stitch. Oops, I'm off camera. You may have 1 stitch before here. You may have 2 stitches before here, or you may have 3 stitches before you reach the end. Whatever it is, as long as you have less than 3 stitches before you reach the end of the row, we're just going to skip however many stitches are here. If it's 1, if it's 2, or if it's 3, we're just going to skip them. We're going to go in to the chain 2 space and put 3 double crochet, and every row will have 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet in the chain 2 space. Every row is going to be, the beginning is going to be the same, the middle is going to be the same, and the end is going to be the same. The only thing that's going to change is the stitches that are in between those points. You can move this up if you want to. I don't really need to move it up because I know I easily can recognize that that's where I need to put my stitch. Now whatever you did on this side, I skipped 2 stitches. You're going to do on this side, skip 2 stitches, and in the 3rd, put a V-stitch. Now if you have 1 stitch there, skip 1 stitch. If you have 3, skip 3. You want this side and this side to be exactly the same. So whatever you did on the last row, do on this, or this side, do on that side. Okay? Skip 2, into the 3rd V-stitch. And we're just V-stitching back towards the beginning. We should have the same amount of V-stitches on this side that we do on that side. And I really, really hope you do use some of your stash yarn for this project. This ball of cotton cakes has, what did I say? 530 yards. I said try to have a minimum of 600, but I think we're just going to go with the 530 for this one. But like I said, you can use up, I'm showing you exactly how to make this bigger, smaller, how to adjust it for whatever yarn you're using. This is you're designing along with me, and you're making alterations and changes as you see fit or as you feel like. So for example, if you really are loving the V-stitch section, you can keep on doing the whole thing V-stitch section if you want. If you're really liking, or if you really don't like the V-stitch, you can make the V-stitch row or section shorter and just do this for a couple of rows and then change to the next stitch and see if you like that one a little bit better. This is completely customizable. And we're still skipping 2 and in the 3rd putting a V-stitch, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Skip 3. I have 2 stitches left, so I'm skipping 1, and in that last one I'm going to put 3 double crochet. Now this is very much like the middle. As long as you have the same amount of V-stitches on either side, if you have 1 stitch here or 2 stitches here in between the V and the last one, it's not going to matter. And just keep folding it over at the point and make sure it's the same length. Okay? Both sides should be the same length. No matter how far you go, these 2 ends should line up. If they don't, then you messed up somewhere. Alright. I'm going to start the row. You guys remember? Chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn. In that same stitch, put 2 more double crochet because every row ends with 3 double crochet and starts with 3 double crochet. The chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Did I tell you that last stitch gets 3 double crochet? I think I did, but I don't recall. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is our repeat row. So you repeat this row until you get the length of the section that you want. Okay. So this is the V-stitch row. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows of the repeat of this, the V-stitch on that one. And the yellow one I'm still working on, but it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows so far. I'm probably going to actually double how thick this is. So this one's probably going to be 16 rows. You're just going to finish, or slow your brain down, Jen. Repeat this row until it's the width that you want before you move on to the next section. I'm aiming for 10 rows with this one. Okay. So we started with the 3 double crochet in the first stitch. We're going to skip 1. See, this is the chain 3 of the last, or this is the 3 double crochet of the last stitch of the last row. Okay. So in the first stitch we have the 3 double crochets. We're going to skip 1, and in the third one, 1, 2, 3. See this one? Skip 1, and right here in the second one, we are going to put a V-stitch. Okay, that's what it should look like. Think of this as a granny block. Okay, on one corner of the granny block, we put another granny block. On the other corner of the granny block, we put a V-stitch. Every row is going to start with the granny block and the V-stitch on the third stitch of the row before is granny block. And then this part's real easy. In the middle of every V-stitch, here, 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 we're going to put another V-stitch inside the V-stitch. So the V-stitches will line up. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in every V-stitch. Okay. Here's a V-stitch. Here's a V-stitch. This is the in-between. We'll block off the in-betweens. So on each one of these stitches, you're going to put a V-stitch. Okay. So we have where the stitch looks like it's going this way. We're working in that one, not where it looks like it's going that way. So it goes like this. Oh, kind of like that. You're going to work in this section, not this section. Okay. Really, really easy. I'm giving extra details for maybe the beginner who has never done a V-stitch before. But if you're more advanced, you're like, what? Why is she giving all these extra details? We don't need to know all that. I already know. I know what a V-stitch looks like. So I'm just putting V-stitches in the V-stitches. And this is the repeat row. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the V-stitch. See? I'm going to do that till we get to the corner. The peak, the V, the main V of the triangle shawl. Alright, that was the last V before we hit the corner. So see, here's the V, here's the granny block, chain 2, granny block. This is the corner increase. So we're going to do the same thing here we did at the beginning of the row. This peak right here, so this first section, so we have 1, 2, 3 double crochets that create the granny stitch. This first one's going to get a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, and then in the chain 2 space we're going to put another increase, so 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the same chain 2 space. This is our increase. Alright, now we worked up to the corner, we're working around the corner, now we're going back down the other side. We have that granny block. So in the 1, 2, 3rd double crochet, we're going to put a V-stitch. And then right on the side of that should be the V-stitch, and so we're just going to work into the V-stitch. And we're going to do exactly what we did on the other side. Up this side, V-stitches in the tops of the V-stitches. And this is the repeat. You're just going to repeat this row until it's as long as you want this section to be. I'm aiming for 10 rows with this, the 4 weight. Probably going to go 16 or 20 rows with the 2 weight yarn. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, V-stitch in the V-stitch. I didn't realize it went dark and then went back to light again. It went darker and then it's back to lighter. I don't think I've ever worked with the Caron cotton cakes to my recollection. Especially not the stripy ones. So, we'll see how we like this yarn. I think I have a yellow one of this one too. I think I have a yellow Caron cake. I'm not positive on that. Quite honestly, I'm not sure what I have anymore. Alright, we reached the last V-stitch and put our V-stitch on top, so we have the granny block at the end of the row. So in that very first one is going to have, the very first double crochet of the granny block is going to have a V-stitch. And then in the very last stitch of the row is going to have 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 3 and turn. And we're going to repeat the last row. So we're going to put 2 more double crochet in that first stitch. That's our granny block of the beginning of the row. We're going to skip a stitch, and then the 3rd one of the previous row's granny stitch, we're going to put a V-stitch. In the very next V-stitch, we're going to put a V-stitch. We're going to repeat last row's row. Put a V-stitch in every V-stitch. When you get to the corner, you should have a V-stitch in this section, this stitch right here of the granny block. Then you should have granny, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in this stitch. Skip the 2 stitches, and then the 3rd double crochet of this granny block should be a V-stitch. V-stitch, V-stitch all the way down. You get to the end of the row, there should be a V-stitch here, and then 3 double crochet in this one. Just keep on repeating that, and I will meet you at the end of this section. I'm going for 10 repeats of the V-stitches. Alright, we got our 10 rows in, and I'm kind of loving this yarn. I think it's looking so beautiful. Now, like I said, you can go, if you have more yardage than this, if you have more than one cake, you can go more than 10 rows with the V-stitch section if you want. And now that I'm actually working up with this one, I'm going to be real honest, and I think this one is going to go to Miss Libby and not the rainbow cake. Because I am loving this way more than that one. That one's really splitty, and I'm struggling with that one. And I'm really liking these colors. I think this is so pretty. Alright, so the next section is going to be separated with a double crochet row. So we're going to chain 3 at the end of the row, like we have every other row, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in that same stitch, because every row starts and ends with 3 double crochets. Now what we're going to do all the way across is put double crochets. So in every stitch, we're going to put a double crochet. So in the tops of all of the double crochets will get a double crochet on top of it. In the middle of the V-stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. In the double crochet, you're going to put a double crochet. Be careful not to put a double crochet in between the V-stitches. So just make sure you know where you're putting your stitches. Each V-stitch should have 3 double crochets. One here, one here, one here. And then go to the next one. One here, one here, one here. If you have a really, really hard time with double crochet or with stitch recognition, honestly, you could just put 3 double crochet in each V-stitch like this. 1, 2, 3. And it will not really matter as you go across, okay? So I'm not doing that because I'm really good with my stitch recognition. For each V-stitch, you should have 3 double crochet. Double crochet in the first part of the V-stitch, double crochet in the center, double crochet in the second part. And as a beginner, I know that I would have been confused and tried to put another double crochet in here. So that's why I gave you that warning. Just double crochet all the way across. It should look like this. Okay. Like I said, you could absolutely put just 3 double crochet in each space right here if you have a hard time with keeping track of where your stitches are at. It will absolutely equal out, and it will not look exactly the same, but it will look very similar. And then the next row of this is going to be where we start our second stitch. That looks like this, which is honestly one of my new favorite stitches. It's a 2-row repeat, so you'll be alternating rows. You'll be doing row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2 on repeat. I am not generally one to use Karen cakes. Rarely at all do I use a Karen cake. I don't know why. It's not that they're bad yarns. It's just I tend to not reach for cakes first. And Karen cake is one that I definitely don't reach for. And I'm not really sure why. It's not that I hate them. They're not something I reach for first. And so, like I said, this Karen cake has been sitting around for at least a year, maybe 2 years. I buy them or I get gifted them and I'm like, oh, they're so pretty, and then I don't use them. And I think part of the problem is with the self-striping feature, I have a hard time figuring out what project to make with them because I don't like the hard breaks. But you can see there's a hard break here, but it's not horrible. But if you don't like the self-stripe yarn, you could absolutely just do the first section one color, this next section the next color. You can use scrap yarn for this. You can use a variegated yarn. You don't have to use a self-striping yarn if you don't like those hard breaks. The cotton cake for the thin one, this one, the colors fade really gently into each other, so there's not any hard breaks, which is why I chose that cake. But yeah, those are the type of cakes I tend to lean towards first, is the ones where they fade into each other instead of just a hard color break. And I'm really enjoying working with this. I like the yarn is not super soft. There is mild irritation just between my fingers. but it's not irritating me so much that I don't like using it. Like, I'm rather enjoying this yarn, and I'm surprised by that. And of course, as a reminder, you can use whatever yarn you want, whatever weight yarn you want. You use whatever hook size that goes with the yarn. Just look at the yarn label and see what the suggested hook is for gauge, and go based off of that. And if you don't like the way it's working, go up a hook size or go down a hook size. I think 5.5 is perfect for this. It's got like good drape to it, but it's not too loose, you know. Alright, we are approaching the corner, and I'm just going to double crochet all the way up to that last stitch before the chain 2 space. And then we're just going to put our normal increase in there of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet all in that chain 2 space. And then go on down and make sure you have all of your double crochets along this side. That's what your corner should look like. Now we're going to double crochet back up all of these stitches, and then when you get to the end, you're going to put 3 double crochet in the last stitch like we have every other row, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Alright, we are approaching the end of the row. We're still doing double crochets in every stitch. Bentley has joined the room and little man has come home from school, so there may very well be background noise. That last stitch here is going to have 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Once again, we're going to chain 3 and turn our work. This is what that last row should look like. This part should continue to curl upwards. It's going to actually curve forward on our bodies. And as always, every row begins and ends with 3 double crochet. The chain 3 counts as the first double crochet. 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. Alright, we're going to skip the next stitch, and in the stitch after that we're going to put a double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1 double crochet here, a double crochet in the next stitch, and a double crochet in the next stitch. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and in the 4th put a double crochet, and in the next stitch put a double crochet, and in the next stitch put a double crochet. So this is going to be, this row will be chain 3, skip 3, and then 3 double crochet across the next 3 stitches. Okay, I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th double crochet, in the 5th a double crochet, and in the 6th stitch a double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, and in the 4th, 5th, and 6th stitch put a double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, 3 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3, that is what that should look like. Continue this till you get to about the corner. Alright, so I got to the end where the corner is, and instead of 1, 2, 3 skipping, there I would only have 2 stitches here to work with. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. I'm going to chain 3, skip all 5 of those stitches, and I'm going to put 3 double crochet in the corner. Chain 2. Your number here might vary because it depends on how many rows you did. It does not matter. If you're able to put the 3 block here, the 3 double crochet block, and you have 2 stitches before the opening, you're good to go. If you're able to put the 3 block and you have 1 stitch, you're good to go. If you have 5, if you have more than 5 stitches, just put another block up here on the end. It's not going to make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So whatever your number is here, just do the best you can to make sure that this is not pulling too much, to like it's stretching to where it's pulling the fabric, and make sure it's not like too close that it wants to roll on itself. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. But whatever you do on this side, repeat on this side. So since I have 5 stitches here, I'm going to skip 5 here. But your number might be 2, might be 3, might be 4. It does not matter. So we put our increase, which is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to replicate what we did on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the 6th, we're going to put our double crochet. And then in the next 2 stitches, put another double crochet in each one of those. We just want it to be a mirror. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. See? And because this is an increase, it's not going to affect, there's going to be a slightly bigger hole here, but the next row is going to fill that in, so it's not going to matter. Chain 3, 2, 3, go back to skip 3, and in the 4th, put a double crochet, in the 5th put a double crochet, and in the 6th put a double crochet. Chain 3, skip 3, 3 double crochet. This is what it should start to look like. Okay. Continue on till you get to the end of the row. We're approaching the end of the row. 1, 2, 3. Our last 3 double crochet. There should be room for a skip 1, which is what we did on the other side. And then, did I do chain 3? No, we're good. And then put 3 in the last stitch. That's our increase. It should look like that. There's actually a skip 1 there, you just can't see it because it's crowded, but we have our increase and then our first 3 block. So we're going to chain 3, we're going to turn. We're going to once again start the row with 3 double crochet in the first stitch like that. Okay, that's what that should look like. Then we are going to skip 1 and put a single crochet. Okay, so the first 3 double crochets of the row, you should have, let me pull that apart so you can see it a little better. This is the last 3 double crochets of the last row. Then we added the 3 on the corner and the increase. So the first one right here. So we'll skip 1 and we'll put a single crochet right here. And that's all part of that granny block on the corner, right? Then we're going to skip these 3. We're going to go over here. And we're going to put 5 double crochet in the chain 3 space. 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the center of these 3, that center post, we're going to put a single crochet. That's what it should look like. Oh, didn't mean to bang you. Go into the chain 3 space, and once again, put 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the center post, skip this double crochet, and in that double crochet we're going to put a single crochet. In the chain 3 space, we're going to put 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the center, we're going to put a single crochet. This is what it should look like so far. We're just going to continue that until we get to the corner. 5 double crochet in each one of these. Oh, I should have probably told you. Just before we move on, if you fold this in half, once again, fold it right down the center. These holes should line up all the way down, and you should have an equal amount of these holes. That way you make sure that your shawl is the same size on both sides. And if these don't line up all the way down, you messed up somewhere. That's just the way I keep track of what I'm doing. Alright, now back to this. 5 double crochets, single crochet in the center post. 5 double crochets, center, or single crochet in the center. I will meet you at the corner and show you what to do next. Alright, I am putting the last 5 double crochets into the last chain 3 space. This is the increase. We are going to still in the middle of that put our single crochet, and then we are going to chain 3 and put our increase. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, go in the center there and put a single crochet, and then continue with your 5 double crochets around the corner. 2, 3, 4, 5. Mount it in the middle. So that's what it should look like. Oh, I forgot the chain 3 there. Oh, I forgot the chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then mount it. Yep, there we go. I messed up. It's fine. 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5. That is what we have. Now continue this. Single crochet in the center post, 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the center. Alright, so we're at the last chain 3 space. We're going to put 5 double crochet, and the dogs are going to start barking, probably because Mr. Cinnamon's home. I'm not positive on that. 5. Well, I forgot what we did on the other side. Alright. Hang on, let's reset it. Alright. We put our single crochet. We skip the 3 stitches, the 3 double crochets, and then we put our single crochet all the way over here. And then we put the 3 double crochet in the last row. Whoops. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3. Turn our work. The repeat is going to be this next row and then this row again on top of it. So the next row is going to be kind of repeating the 3s. So we're going to start the row. Apparently we started the row with the battery change, but it's all good. We start the row with our chain 3 and then we put 2 more double crochets like every row. You already know. Every row starts and ends the same. 3 double crochet. Right? Then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to skip all these stitches over here. In the center of every one of these shells, so here, here, and here, there's 3 stitches at the top here. So we're skipping the 2 double crochet here, the single crochet here, and then a double crochet here, and in the top 3 stitches we're going to put our double crochets. So skip 1, 2 double crochets, a single crochet, and another double crochet, and then put our double crochet times 3. 1, 1 in the next one, and 1 in the next one. Okay, that's what that should look like. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We'll skip over the next double crochet here, single crochet here, and double crochet here. So, oh, I didn't put enough stitches in there. There's only 3 double crochet there. Oh well. So we're going to skip a double crochet, a single crochet, and a double crochet. And we're going to pretend that I have an extra double crochet there. And we're going to put our 3 double crochets. Chain 3. Skip a double crochet that's imaginary here. The single crochet and the double crochet there. You should have a double crochet there. I did not. I screwed up. It's fine. So it's exactly the same as the row before, where it's chain 3, skip 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets in the next. So 1 in that stitch, 1 in the next. It's exactly like the row before, except we're working on the top of a shell instead of in a flat row. Okay, so we're going to do this one like we did this row down here, and then on top of this we're going to do the 5 double crochets and a single crochet in the middle of the thing here. So 5 and then a single, 5 and a single, etc. That's the repeat. We're going to repeat this until this row is the length that we want it to be. Skip 3 and then 3 double crochet. So this row is basically all 3s. 3 double crochet across 3 stitches, chain 3, skip 1, 2, 3, 3 double crochet all the way across. Chain 3, whoops, skip 3, 3 double crochet. Alright, so we're at the last shell before our increase, so we're going to do chain 3. We're going to go up to the corner and we're going to put our 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 3, skip over this section, go to the next shell because we want it to look exactly like we did on that side, and put our 3 double crochets at the top of this shell. That is what it looks like. Chain 3, continue on, skip the 3, chain 3, skip 3. I've done the stitch so many times now I don't have to actually count whether I'm skipping 3 or not. I just can see where it needs to go at the top of the shell. And that's so pretty. I'm really loving the way these colors. This looks gray in some lights and it looks blue in other lights. I am loving it because I really thought it was gray when I pulled this out. And now it's looking blue because the light has changed. Oh, I don't know what color it is, but it's pretty. Alright, we put the last 3 double crochet and we're going to put our last chain. Oops, 3 of the row, go into that very last stitch, put our 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 3, turn our work. So the repeat will be this last row and then this next row, which you kind of already saw because we did it here. Start the row, 3 double crochet, 2 more double crochet, or 3 chains, 2 double crochet, so we have 3 double crochets in the first stitch. Go to the very next stitch, put a single crochet, and then put 5 double crochets in the chain 3 space. 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip the next double crochet and in the center one put a single crochet. Continue this across till you get to the corner. 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the center. Alright, we are approaching the corner. So in this space here, we're going to put our 3 double crochet. No, our 5, not 3. 3, 4, 5. And we're going to do it differently this row now, so pay attention. We're going to chain 3, 2, 3. This is going to be the repeat, not this one. Okay. And then we're going to, see how I did that? That last loop, we put the 5, chain 3, and then we're going to put the increase. So, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the corner. Chain 3 when you come out of it. And in that space right here, we're going to put our 5 double crochet. Two, 3, 4, 5, and then go back into pattern where you do the single crochet here. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Got it? Got it. Looks like there's like a little, you know, like a X right there. Alright, now continue on. 5 double crochet in the chain 3 space. 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the center. Continue doing that till you get to the end of the row. We are going to repeat these 2 rows until, let's see, let me check my other shawl and get an idea how many rows we did. So each one of these holes represents 2 rows. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So I did 10 rows of this repeat. So actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, got it? So you can do it more, you can do it less. I really love this row. You could actually take this row all the way to the bottom of the shawl if you want. I'm going to change up the bottom from, this one's going to be slightly different than that one, but see how we have the scalloped on the edge? You absolutely could just take this all the way to the end if you want, or you can hang around and we'll figure out what we're going to do on the bottom. So I'm going to attempt to do this for, what did I say? 10 rows? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 10 rows of, so this is 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows. This is the 4th row. So every time you see a circle, it's 2, 4. Okay. And I'm still going to show you how to end this row in case you forgot. Because whatever you do on one side, you need to do on the other side. Alright, we are approaching the end of the row. Put our last 5 double crochet in the last chain 3 space here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Put our single crochet, and then put our 3 double crochets in the last stitch. 2, 3, chain 3, turn, repeat, 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 repeat until you have 5 repeats of the circle or 10 rows. This is what it is looking like so far. It is quite beautiful. I'm liking the way the colors are working. Let me see if I can pull you guys up a little higher so you can get a better view. That's what it's looking like. Absolutely beautiful. I'm loving it. Alright guys, I will meet you when I have 5 circle rows or 10 rows complete of this, and we will move on to the next step. Alright, we are back. We have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Well, it's actually 10 rows, but we have our 5 repeats. And we're going to start the row like we have done every other row with a 3 double crochet. I am fully anticipating on Mr. Cinnamon calling me. I'm going to lower the camera a little bit. So, if we have to stop real quick, it's because I'm expecting a call. I was waiting on doing the tutorial till he called, but, you know, he's going to wait until I'm filming. I know it. Alright, we're going to chain 3, flip our work, 2 double crochets so that it equals 3 double crochets, because every row begins and ends with 3 double crochets. And then what we're going to do in every stitch across is put a double crochet. Except we're not going to put a double crochet in the single crochet. So in each one of these shells, we're going to put a double crochet. And we're going to skip the single crochet. So in every double crochet, put a double crochet. Skipping the single crochets. It should look like that. See the single crochets down here? We're going to skip that and we're going to work into that stitch instead. Don't be afraid to pull your work apart. If you're afraid and you don't know what a stitch looks like, that's a single crochet. The double crochet is right here. Okay. So for every shell, we should have 5 double crochets. When we get to that corner, we're going to do our normal increase of 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. We're going to continue up the other side with double crochets, and the next row is going to be another row of just straight double crochets all the way across. You're going to start the row and end the row with 3 double crochets. You're going to put the normal increase. It's really that simple. And we're going to have 2 solid rows of double crochets before we start the next stitch sequence. Just make sure that you are skipping the single crochet and you're double crocheting only in the tops of the double crochets of the shell. Alright, so we're approaching the corner. We have our chain 3 space there, so we're just going to give that 3 double crochets in the middle of the chain 3 space. What we want is a straight line all the way across all of the fabric of this row. And in the next 3 stitches, which is a granny stitch for the increase, each one of those double crochets gets a double crochet. We're approaching the tippy top. Put 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Whatever you did on that side, you're going to repeat on the other side. So this granny shell gets a double crochet in every stitch. Working down the other side, the chain 3 gets 3 double crochet in it. My cake is starting to collapse, so we're starting to get more and more tangles coming out. And then just proceed what you were doing all the way down. Every double crochet gets a double crochet in the top of it. Skipping the single crochets. That is what your corner should look like. Go all the way till the beginning of the row and put 3 double crochets at the beginning of the row, and then do the same thing for the next row. Just continue on, double crochet all the way down, 3 double crochet in the very first stitch, or in this case the very last stitch, chain 3, next row, repeat. So 3 double crochet in the first and last stitch. The corner is still going to have 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And I will meet you at the end of the next row. So after we've done this row, and I'm going to do the next row off camera. And then I will come back and we will show you what is next. Alright, this is what it should look like. I'm noticing the purples are pooling on one side and the whites are pooling on the other side. Actually, it's more like the gray is replaced from the white on this side, but whatever. It's pretty. Alright, now I had 3 rows planned, but I don't think I have enough yarn for 3 rows, so we are going to improvise. We're going to chain 3 like per normal. turn our work. 2 more double crochet in the same stitch, because every row begins and ends with a 3 double crochet. All right. Now we are going to skip 1, 2 stitches, and in the third we're going to put double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, should look like that. So it's, instead of just the 3 count, it's gonna be double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. All right. All right, we are going to chain 1 after that. We're calling it a V shell because it's a double. We'll call it a W shell because it looks like 2 V's, or a W, or a double V, depending on where you live. So the W shell, chain 1, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the 5th put another W. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. That's our W shell. Then chain 1 in between, skip 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in the 5th put a W. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, W crochet, or W crochet, double crochet, and then chain 1 in between. This is what it should look like. Skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, in the 5th put a W, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. There we have it. That was very excessive breathing, Oreo. You're good. She's irritated. I don't know why. Alright, continue this till we get to the corner, and I'll show you what to do once we get there. Alright, I put a W. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 stitches. Well, at least I do. You might be 5 stitches. You might be 3 stitches. Just get the last W as close as you can to this without going over like 6 stitches between here and there. And then just continue on. Don't forget your chain 1 after your W. Put your increase here. Chain 2, 3 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Oops. And then remember, whatever you did on one side, you got to do on the other. So chain 1 after that. And because we have 4 stitches in between the last W and the increase, we're going to skip 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the 5th, it worked out perfectly. I'm going to put our W stitch, which is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. Continue up the side, and then when you get to the very first stitch, you guessed it, put 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I encourage you, if you have more yarn than I have, you can repeat this row as many times as you want. Well, not this row. This is going to be a 2-row repeat. So this row and the next row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can repeat any of these rows over and over again if you want, to make it as large or as small as you want. I'm just working with 1 cake of yarn right now, but like I said at the beginning of the video, I encourage you to at least have 600 yards to make a reasonable size shawl. And you can alter it any way that you see fit. You can make these sections bigger, smaller. You can add more solid rows in between. You can do more of this row. You can do more of the V-stitch section. And this one, I'm only going to be able to do 1 repeat of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 2 rows. But I will show you how to start another row if you want to do a couple of repeats of this row. You make this row as thick as you want. because I told you I'm also making one of these in the much thinner cotton yarn with much more yardage. So what I'm going to do with that one is each one of these sections is going to be more rows. It's very easy to just adjust it and fudge the numbers a little bit, like how I show you here on the end. If you don't have exactly 4 in between the shell and the W stitch, it's not going to make much difference. You just don't want too many stitches here so that it's pulled really tight. Okay, because what will happen is it'll start to buckle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This pattern is very, very easy to just adjust it whatever way you want. Any way you want. Alright, I'm going to continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doing the W shells till I reach the end. Then I am going to put the 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in the last stitch, and we'll start the last row of this specific shawl. But I will show you how to do a repeat on this if you want to do a repeat of the W stitch, and then we're going to do shells on top of this. I will show you how to set up the next row for this repeat. Alright, this row is going to be the last row of my shawl, but like I said, I'm going to show you how to do another row. This row is going to be different than all of the other rows that we have done, because we're still going to chain 3, 2, 3. Still going to turn our work, but instead of putting 2 more double crochets, we are going to put 4. So we want 5 double crochets in this first stitch. The chain 3 counts as 1, so there's 1 double crochet on top of that, so that counts as 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in between the shells, we're going to put a single crochet. Okay, so in that chain 1 space right there. And then this center post of the W, the center of the W, that post, the double crochet, that's where we're going to work our next shell, but it's going to be a regular shell. So it is going to be 5 double crochets in the center of the W. Okay, right here, right on top of the W crochet. Double crochet. So 5 double crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to anchor it in the chain 1 space between the W's. And that is going to just be this, that's how we're going to work this row. Is all the way across in the middle of the W. I'm going to put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to anchor the shell in between the W stitches. That's what that looks like. Continue this all the way down. And in the corner, we're just going to put a normal increase like we have been every other row. So 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anchor it between the double stitches where the chain space is. 5 double crochet. Anchor it between with a single crochet, and I'll meet you at the corner. Alright, we're at the corner. We got our shell and our single crochet in that last section. We're just going to go up here. And we're going to put our 3 double crochets as per normal. 2, 3, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Go to that first low chain space in between, single crochet, corner should look like. Continue on doing your 5 double crochets in the top of the W. Continue on till you get to the end of the row. And remember, instead of 3 double crochet in that last stitch, we're putting 5 this time. And I will meet you at the end. Alright, we are approaching the end of the row. And I already forgot what I did on the other side. Alright, so we put our last 5 shell before we reach the corner. And in the space between the 3 increase of every beginning and end of every row, we're going to put our single crochet, and then the very last stitch of the row I'm going to put 5 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, nope, we slid out, 4, 5. Now, because I don't have enough to do another 2 rows, I'm cutting here. I'm going to show you how to do another 2 rows. You can continue this until you run out of yarn, these 2 row repeats. You can continue it until it's the size that you want it to be. You can, at the end of this row, you can do another double crochet row like we did here as a separator and rework any of these stitches that I showed you how to put in. Just rewind to that part of the video to show how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do another repeat of these 2 rows. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work. We are going to put 3 double crochets in this row. Okay, and then in the center of this 5, we're going to put a single crochet. And then, no, we're not. Don't single crochet there. Don't single crochet there. In the single up in here, so skip a stitch, go 1 over and put a W. I had to stop and think for a minute, like, what am I doing? A W. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in that stitch. So we did a 3 double crochet here, skip 1, and then because that's the center of the 5 shell here, we put a W. Don't forget to chain between your W's. Go over to the center here. You should be able to look without having to count and just see where the top point is of the shell. Here, here, here. If you have to count, there's 1, 2 stitches on this shell, a single crochet, 2 stitches here. So skip the next 5 stitches if you have to count. I kind of do this by, oh, there's a peak there, so I'm going to put it there. So put a W stitch there, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. Skip the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches at the top of this shell, put another W. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, so on and so forth. That sets you up to do another repeat of these, and in the next row just repeat this row. So come over here, put your 5 double crochets, put your single crochet here, 5 double crochets, single, 5 double crochet, single, and you can repeat this set of rows as many times as you want to. But like I said, I don't have enough to make another 2 rows, so we're just going to end mine right here, and we're going to cut it and call it a day and call it a success for the Miss Libby robe. It's not a robe. Wow, my brain is skipping all kinds of words today. It's a shawl, Miss Libby shawl. And yeah, I have quite a bit left over that's going to get balled up, but like I said, judging by, and the way I can tell that I don't have enough to do another 2 rows is because the purple was 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and we already have 3 rows of purple here, which means that there's not enough purple here to do another full row. And the gray might be 2 rows, but this is towards the end, so I'm just not going to chance it. I'm not going to play yarn chicken. We're just going to call it a day, and we're going to ball this up and put this in the scrap pile. This is our shawl. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to raise you guys up. This is the finished, completed. I think this is so pretty. I think it would be even prettier if I could have some more rows of that down there, but like I said, the other one that I'm working with, the skinnier yarn, which you guys will probably see in a Monday Makes video, will be it will have many more rows than this, just because I have more of that yarn than I did this one. But I wanted to do this tutorial with you guys. I wanted to show you how to make this beautiful shawl. I think it is stunning the way it turned out. And even though it looks like it's on the small side, it does fit my size 3X body just fine. And I think it will fit his teacher too, because I don't know what size she is, but like, I think this is going to fit all sizes. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm really proud of it. I hope that you make one of these. Possible yarn choices. Karen Cotton Cakes. One did this. This one is slightly different. Only slightly different. This was made out of 2 balls, and this is a couple rows bigger. This is 2 balls of the Facets yarn from Michaels, the Loops and Threads Facets yarn, which is stunning beautiful. And this was the prototype, so it's not exactly the same. Also, another yarn that I think would be beautiful is the Ombre Hues. The Ombre Hues from Loops and Threads would be absolutely beautiful in this shawl because of the way the color like fades into itself. Or any cake, self-striping yarn, or even solid colors. And like I said, I'm making one in a very skinny cotton yarn. These are both 4 weights. You're gonna just play with it. Use scrap yarns. Use whatever you have in your stash. This is a stash busting project. If you want and you have just solid colors, or even if you have variateds that kind of go together, you can do one section in one ball of yarn, the next section in another ball of yarn, and the bottom section in a completely different yarn, so that each section is its own colorway. You can do the divider rows, which are the double crochet rows, in like black or white or gray or taupe or whatever color you want to break up the colors. Lots of different options that you could do this beautiful shawl with. Whatever yarn you decide to use, whatever thickness, whatever color, please share it with me if you make this shawl. This shawl only took me 2 days to complete start to finish while recording a tutorial and doing a whole bunch of other stuff. So this is not a huge make. It's not a very long process. I'm going to say probably 10 hours total, but I crochet fast, so for you it might be more like 15 hours, but still. I really would like to see the pictures. You can email them to me, or you can post them in the Facebook group. Facebook group is where I see them most frequently, but you can also post them on Instagram and use the @ Cinnamon Stitches, all one word, or hashtag Cinnamon Stitches, all one word, and I will see it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.